Hey everybody, welcome back. I'm just jumping on here really quick to make part 2 of my most recent video that I posted on my channel that was called Fixing the Major Scale. Essentially in that video, I explained that one of the most important skills you have to be developing as a beginner improviser is the intuition of knowing where the good and bad notes should be in a phrase inside the measure. Okay, so we took the major scale and then we explained that it didn't work rhythmically because it doesn't match the strong and weak concept, in which the good notes should be on strong and the bad notes should be on weak. So I used the major scale as a vehicle to explain the concept, and then we finally got to the ultimate version of the correction of the major scale, which is a dominant bebop scale. It's basically the major scale with an added passing tone between the 6th and the 7th. And that's it. And that fixes the strong and weak situation. So go watch it if you haven't. One of the things I didn't cover in that video was that after I showed you how to play it from every chord tone, because the idea is that you have it super ready to go from anywhere in the scale, was how to play it from the other notes in the scale that are not chord tones. For example, the chord tones are going to end up being root, third, fifth, and flat 7, which is what we talked about in that video. But what about the 2nd, the 4th, and the 6th of the scale? Normally, we refer to these 9 as 9, 11, and 13. But it's fine if you want to call it 2, 4, and 6. So I'm going to show you my favorite way to make the scale work from those notes. What we're trying to do here is, again, just make it work rhythmically so that good notes fall on strong and the bad notes that are dissonant for the chord fall on weak. So from the 9th, if we were just to play the scale from there, look at what happens. The 9th in the key of E, which is the key I was using for the video, would be F sharp. So if I just go and play from there, strong, weak. The 3rd is already on weak, okay, strong. The 11th falls on strong, weak, strong, weak, strong. The 7th in a dominant 7 scale is going to end up falling on strong. So it's all messed up. So it doesn't work. So let's fix it. My favorite way to go up from the 9th would be to add a passing tone between the 9th and the 3rd. That's it. Super important. Once you do the correction, which is the passing tone between the 9th and the 3rd, you don't do it again. Once you hit the 3rd, you're good to go from the 3rd. Strong, weak, strong. So don't play that correction again. Just keep doing your scale. Up and down without doing it again. So that's when you're going up from the 9th. When you're going down from the 9th, right, here's F sharp, you want to add the passing tone to the root. So F sharp, F natural, and then E. And once again, you don't do that ever again as you're playing your scale down. Only to correct right there to be able to start it from the 9th. That's one of my favorites. And this is a classic, awesome sequence of chromatic notes that are actually working harmonically and rhythmically that you hear, from everybody. Lots of solos. It's an iconic idea, all of that run of chromatic notes. So that's one you really want to develop and get into your muscle memory. So that's 9th. The 11th, it's a little tricky. To start on the 11th, obviously that's going to be on strong, right? So we have no option there. To start the scale on the 11th, it's just going to be on strong. Think about it as a little bit of a dissonance on strong that's going to get fixed immediately after, sort of like a suspension. So to go up from the 11th in the key of E for this scale, add the passing tone between the 11th and the 5th. And then again, you don't do it ever again. Because what we're trying to do is just make a correction so that we can start the scale there so that it works rhythmically. That's it. That's all we need. To go down from the 11th, my favorite one that I learned, that I developed in my plan is 11th. There's a little bit of an adjustment here. Strong, right? That's the 11th in the key of E, which is the note A. Then if you go down, the 3rd, G sharp is going to be on weak. Then this is strong, the 9th. Then weak, strong. It's all messed up. So the correction is 11th, 3rd, 9, the passing tone to the root. So you get this melodic idea. And once you hit the root, you're good to go. Okay? So obviously there's other ways to do it. Another way could be just immediately go up and then down. Strong, weak, strong. Once you hit the 3rd in that version, you're good to go. My version that I played is always okay. That's from the 11th. Finally, from the 6th or 13th, to go up from the 13th, in this case it would be the note C sharp, we're going to get rid of the passing tone between the 6th and the 7th in the major scale. So basically we're just going to play 6th, 7th, and root. And that's it. Once you hit the root, you're good to go. And it falls perfectly where everything needs to be. Because if you just start on the 13th, 13 would be strong, strong, weak, strong. Like once again, the major 7th on a dominant 7th sound, which is the scale, right? And the chord that we're on, because this is a dominant 7 bebop scale, it's going to fall on strong. So that's dissonant. So just get rid of the passing tone, just play, and then you're good to go. Notice that I just play it. The passing tone's there because once we hit the root, you're good to go. And you do your scale like you normally play it. Okay, and from the 13th going down, all you want to do is add a passing tone, 13th, flat 13, and then 5th. So that would be specifically C sharp, C natural, and then B, the 5th. And you're good to go. Another classic sound. So these are classic movements, chromatic movements in the language that you want to have down. So this completes the whole scale. Now you know how to play it from the chord tones and from the 9th, 11th, and 13th. What this does is it makes you ready to start it absolutely anywhere, okay? You're not going to have to look and chase for a specific note to be able to play your scale. And like I said in that video, to develop the intuition, you have to practice it with the metronome, set it on a quarter note beat, and practice really connected, no gaps, eighth notes. Etc. So now you add from the 9th, 11th, and 13th, and you're good to go. That is the first step to do the scale just by itself with the metronome for a while. and then you work on playing it on the different chords that in that video I put the formulas on the screen. Anyway, so this is part 2 of that video. If you guys have any questions, please reach out. If you'd like to set up a private lesson or anything like that, please contact me. I have my website link on my channel description, so just go on there, check out the stuff there, and send me an email. All right, guys, have a good one. See you on the next one.